Alright, welcome back. If you recall from the previous video, we had our temperature sensor UI functioning, and it was obtaining the reading from our sensor object that we created, and we are randomly generating the sensor data. So if I can run this and see where we left off. So this is what we had from the previous section. So we had implemented a functionality to toggle on and off our sensor so that it starts to read the temperature. So if we click here, so we can see the readings coming in and being shown in our temperature gauge in here. So for this section, what we are going to be focusing on is mainly the final bits, just to make our UI more nicer. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to introduce an animation so that the change here in the gauge, this for this temperature, it's going to be smooth. If you can look at it now, it's just instant, so it's changing just instantly. So we're going to smoothen it up with an animation. Also, what we're going to do is to change the state of this power, so that when we toggle on and off, we can see the change of this power button, so that we can see the state of our gauge here. So like at this moment, if we just click here, so it stops reading the temperature, but we are not seeing any visual cue as to what just happened. So that is what we need to rectify in this section. So the first thing we are going to deal with is smoothening the animation for this gauge. So what we need to do now is let's go to our gauge, to our temperature gauge right here. So QML provides us with in animations API, which is quite fantastic. So what we need is what you need to do is this current reading is changing, right? So remember, the current reading is the one that is affecting the height of that temperature gauge, that inner rectangle that is in our track, if you recall from the previous sections. So what we need, we do not want this to change instantly. Let's say the first reading comes in as 30, then the second reading comes in as 40. So we don't want the calculation to just change from 30 to 40 instantly, but we are going to create an animation here that will change the reading from 30 to 40 gradually. So it will go through 31, 32, 33, 34 up to 40. So the way we do that, QML provides us with behavior. So we need, say, behavior on current reading. So we don't want this to change instantly. So the behavior that we need on current reading is we need a number animation. So this number animation is going to have a duration of 200 milliseconds. So this is going to slow down the change that we're going to see. So this is enough. This is the power of QML. It's just easy and good to work with. So if we run this now, we can sure to see the gradual change happening. So if we start this now, you can see that it's now gradually, it's now changing gradually, it's not instant. So that's how you put animations in a QML. So these behaviors, they are quite fantastic. And if you need to get in depth with how animations work, I'm going to put up a complete tutorial on animations only. So yeah, it's coming, or it might be there already at the time you are watching this, but yeah, this is what we need for now. So now that this is done, this part is done, what we need is to deal with the change of state for our power button here. So we need to reflect the state of our power button when it's on and when it is off. So what we need to do is, if we come to our component here, so if we remember, we created a separate component for our power button. So what we need is to change the color of our icon here. So what we're going to need is, let's specify some properties here. Property, color, let's just call this icon color, right? So default, let's just give it a black color. Okay, so what we need is, if we go back to our main.qml here, right here, so we need a way to know when the power is on and when the power is off. So if you recall, in our temperature sensor, right, we have a field that we put here, this active. So this active field is being turned to true or false whenever the sensor is on and off. So we have a property, a Q property, that we can access in QML, this active property. So this is going to determine the state of our power button. So what we need is, if we go to our power button, so yeah, the way I'm navigating here, I'm just clicking, pressing Control and then click, then just gets me to this QML button. So what we need is another property. So property, so this is going to be a boolean. So it's going to be a sensor, let's just call it sensor on, right? So by default, let's just say false. So this by default, this sensor on is false. So this property is what we are going to be using in here to determine the state of our power button. So we need to change this one from our main right here in here. So we come here, sensor on, right? So this property is determined by the sensor active property right here. So we have our sensor, we named it temperature sensor, we named it temperature sensor right here, right? So if we come here, we are going to bind the temperature sensor to our sensor on property for power button. So as this changes, if this changes to true, our sensor on property will be true. If it changes to false, this will be false. That's what we need. So now we go back to our sensor power button, right? So now we are going to introduce the concept of states. So what I'm going to do here, we are going to have states. So let me just write here states. So our state, we are going to have a sensor on state, a sensor on, and a sensor off state, right? So let's say by default, state of our power button by default will be sensor off, right? Sensor off state. All right, so we are going to declare our states here. So our states property, this is a list. Let me remove these braces and these echo. So here we are now finding our states. So we're going to have a state, right? And the name is going to be sensor off, right? This is one state. Another state is sensor on, right? Sensor on, right? So these are our two states. So before I define the changes that are going to be happening here, what I need to do is just to be done with the logic. So what we need is, whenever this sensor on, if it is false, right, we need to change the state to sensor off. If it is true, we need to change this to sensor on. Okay, so the way we are going to do that, down here we're going to create a connection, our connections right here. So we're going to target the root, right? So what we need, on sensor on changed, this is the signal that we need to handle. Remember, QML creates signals for each property that we define. So like this, all these properties, width, height, and all these icon color, all these properties, they have a signal, right? That is emitted whenever they are changed. So the way that QML constructs those signals is just by putting the on, just prepainting an on and appending a changed, right? Like here, if we have a property height, right, the signal will be on height changed, right? So that's the signal. So you just notice the camel case here. So these are created with QML in the background. We do not have to print them. So whenever each of these properties change, that signal is emitted. So that's the signal that we are handling for this sensor on property right here. So in here we said if the root, right, root dot sensor on, right, is equals to, we can say is equals to true. Since it's a boolean, we can just say leave it like this, right? So if it's true, we need to set a root dot set sensor on, right? Else, right, we need to set it to sensor off. State is equals to sensor off. So this logic is going to determine the state of our power button. Alright, now that we're done with that logic, let's define the property changes that are going to be happening under each state. So we're going to have a property changes in here. So this in the sensor off state, we are going to target, remember, we are going to target our image, right? So here is another concept that I'm going to show you. Remember, we have an SVG image that is our icon, so we need to change the color of this. Remember, image doesn't have a color property, so if we say color here, so it doesn't have, even if you give it like red, you can see invalid property name. Image doesn't have a color property. So the question comes, how do we change the image, the color of this image? So the way we do that, we use graphical effects module. So let's import Qt5 combat a graphical effects, right? So in the graphical effects module, we have a color overlay property. So we target, okay, we specify the source. In fact, so the source is icon, and anchors.view icon, and then we specify the color, right? So this overlay is going to overlay our image with the color. So this is how we're going to change the color of our button. So the color of this overlay is going to be bound to our icon color. So we're going to bind root icon color to this. All right, I'm just thinking of something. So I think black color, it doesn't really reflect the off state. So let's just put gray here. All right, so this is going to be gray by default. So under sensor off, what we're going to change, we are going to target a root, right? Because it's a root that has this icon color. We're going to change icon color into gray, right? So we're going to, under sensor, when the sensor off state is active, these are the property changes that we're going to make. So icon color will be gray, so the sensor will be off. So you can just copy this and paste it here. But when the sensor is on, this is going to be, let's try line and just see how it comes out. So by just this, I think we are done. But I think what we need also, I just think we might need a let me just come here to the main, where our power button is and our mouse area is. We need to change the cursor shape. I need a cursor shape of Qt pointing hand cursor. So we just change the cursor. So let's just run this and see how it's looking. Okay, so now we have our sensor, but yeah, I think the gray is not that visible. right? If you can see, so you see that cursor that I changed. So if you hover above the power button, you can see that we now have a pointing end. So that's what I changed right here, is cursor shape property of mouse area. So what we need to see whether the power icon will change color when we press here. So if we press, so you can see it's now showing that it is now on, and our temperature is being read from our sensor. So this is it. So we can just test. If we press again, it's now off. So this is how you design and structure your QML user interface, and this has been the goal for this mini tutorial. It's just to show you how to go about it when you are creating the UI using QML, and how to link it with the C++ backend, and how the components interact. So we have seen that we can create custom components from the C++ side, and then use them or import them or export them rather to QML and use them. So if you recall, this whole temperature gauge, this was done in C++. So that's how flexible Qt is, and it's quite a powerful language, and easy to use, friendly. Once you get used to it, I'm sure you will really enjoy it. It's a really good language to develop applications in. So thank you for your time, and I'll be seeing you in the upcoming tutorials that I'm going to upload and do. So if you want into an in-depth dive in for each particular section, like I mentioned before on animations, I'm going to be putting that. So they are going to be coming through, so you can just subscribe and be ready to be notified whenever the new stuff is available. So thank you for your time. See you.